A few minutes later, Coat returned with a bucket of soapy water. Without looking in the storyteller's direction, he began to gently, methodically wash his bottles. One at a time, Coat wiped their bottoms clean of the strawberry wine and set them on the bar between himself and the chronicler, as if they might defend him. "So you went looking for a myth and found a man," he said without inflection, without looking up. "You've heard the stories, and now you want the truth of things." Radiating relief, Chronicler set his satchel down on one of the tables, surprised at the slight tremor in his hands. "We got wind of you a while back. Just a whisper of a rumor. I didn't really expect..." Chronicler paused, suddenly awkward. "I thought you'd be older." "I am," Coates said. Chronicler looked puzzled, but before he could say anything, the innkeeper continued. "What brings you into this worthless little corner of the world?" "An appointment with the Earl of Baden-Bright," Chronicler said, puffing himself up slightly. 3 days from now in Treya." The innkeeper paused mid-polish. "You expect to make it to the Earl's Manor in 4 days?" he asked quietly. "I am behind schedule," Chronicler admitted. "My horse was stolen near Abbott's Ford." He glanced out the window at the darkening sky. "But I'm willing to lose some sleep. I'll be off in the morning and out of your hair." "Well, I wouldn't want to cost you any sleep," Coates said sarcastically, his eyes gone hard again. "I can tell you the whole thing in one breath." He cleared his throat. "I trooped, traveled, loved, lost, trusted, and was betrayed. Write that down and burn it for all the good it will do you." "You needn't take it that way," Chronicler said quickly. "We can take the whole night if you'd like, and a few hours in the morning as well." "How gracious," Coates snapped. "You'll have me tell my story in an evening? With no time to collect myself? No time to prepare?" His mouth made a thin line. "No. Go dally with your Earl. I'll have none of it." Chronicler spoke quickly. "If you're certain you'll need..." "Yes." Coates set a bottle down hard on the bar. "It's safe to say I'll need more time than that, and you'll get none of it tonight. A real story takes time to prepare." Chronicler frowned nervously and ran his hands through his hair. "I could spend tomorrow collecting your story," he trailed off at the sight of Coates shaking his head. After a pause, he started again, almost talking to himself. "If I pick up a horse in Baden, I can give you all day tomorrow and most of the night, and a piece of the following day." He rubbed his forehead. "I hate riding at night, but..." "I'll need 3 days," Coates said. "I'm sure of it." Chronicler blanched. "But the Earl..." Coates waved a hand dismissively. "No one needs 3 days," Chronicler said firmly. "I interviewed Orrin Velseter. Orrin Velseter, mind you. He's 80 years old and done 200 years worth of living. 500 if you count the lies. He sought me out," Chronicler said with particular emphasis. "He only took 2 days." "That is my offer," the innkeeper said simply. "I'll do this properly or not at all." "Hold on a moment," Chronicler brightened suddenly. "I've been thinking about this all backward." He shook his head at his own foolishness. "I'll just visit the Earl and then come back. You can have all the time you'd like then. I could even bring Scarpia back with me." Coates gave Chronicler a look of profound disdain. "What gives you the slightest impression that I would be here when you came back?" he asked incredulously. "For that matter, what makes you think you're free to simply walk out of here knowing what you know?" Chronicler went very still. He swallowed and started again. "Are you saying that..." "The story will take 3 days," Coates interrupted. "Starting tomorrow. That is what I am saying." Chronicler closed his eyes and ran a hand over his face. The Earl would be furious, of course. No telling what it might take to get back in his good graces. Still, if that's the only way that I can get it, I accept. I'm glad to hear it. The innkeeper relaxed into a half-smile. Come now, is 3 days really so unusual? Chronicler's serious expression returned. 3 days is quite unusual, but then again, some of the self-importance seemed to leak out of him. Then again, he made a gesture as if to show how useless words are. You are Kvothe. The man who called himself Kote looked up from behind the bottles. A full-lipped smile played across his mouth. A spark was kindling behind his eyes. He seemed taller. Yes, I suppose I am, Kvothe said, and his voice had iron in it.